Hello, I'm Lara Kulcharsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. Israel has eased some restrictions on humanitarian aid into Gaza, including airdrops of food into the enclave. The move comes after global outrage at images of starving Palestinians and a growing number of hunger-related deaths. The UN's World Food Programme says 88 trucks crossed the Rafah border on Sunday, but at least 600 are needed daily to meet urgent needs. Since the war began, at least 147 Palestinians, mostly children, have died from malnutrition. Israel announced a humanitarian pause to military operations for 10 hours every day in densely populated areas of Gaza. But airstrikes have continued, killing dozens of Palestinians. Airdropped aid has also sparked concern, with Palestinian officials saying at least 10 people injured by falling boxes.
Hello everyone. Despite the risk, I just got a bag of flour amidst the death after waiting for 15 hours from distribution point in northwest Gaza.
Israel has turned 8 distribution points into killing fields, with over 1,000 Gazans shot dead while simply trying to access food. The scenes emerging from these areas have drawn comparisons to the Hunger Games or Squid Game, but this time it's not fiction. It is a brutal reality unfolding in real time as the world watches online.
في ناس غاد؟ في والله في واحد غاد.
Meanwhile, people around the world have taken to the streets to protest Israel's use of forced starvation. Protesters have been banging empty pots in front of embassies and in city squares, demanding an end to the aid blockade on Gaza. In London, protesters left over 1,000 empty pots and pans outside Downing Street to symbolize the Palestinians killed while trying to access food.
I think this is one of the most moving displays I have seen of all these people leaving their empty pots and pans to say to the government, stop starving the people in Gaza. The world is watching. So we're just going to show you the pots and pans and the signs that people have left as a display to their government, how we are so disgusted with their support for genocide and starvation.
You know the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, data company Astronomer is doing just that by bringing in actress and businesswoman Gwyneth Paltrow as a temporary spokesperson.
Thank you for your interest in Astronomer. Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300+ employees at Astronomer.
The move comes after a viral kiss cam scandal where the company's CEO, Andy Bryan, and head of HR, Kristen Cabot, were caught on camera in an embrace and then hiding their faces at a Coldplay concert on July 16th. The internet quickly identified them and pointed out that Andy was actually married. The clip quickly became a sensation, sparking memes, jokes, and plenty of online speculation. Both execs have since resigned. Paltrow, who happens to be Coldplay frontman Chris Martin's ex-wife, appeared in a promo video on Astronomer's social media, highlighting the company's strengths while the investigation into the incident continues.
Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes, Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow, unifying the experience of running data, ML, and AI pipelines at scale. We've been thrilled so many people have a newfound interest in data workflow automation. As for the other questions we've received, yes, there is still room available at our Beyond Analytics event in September. We will now be returning to what we do best, delivering game-changing results for our customers.
Now, whether Astronomer truly delivers game-changing results is up for debate. But one thing the internet does agree on, this was a genius PR move that flipped a scandal into a win.
Petty, but it's good petty marketing. I love it. Because we know that they're having an investigation going on right now because, you know, these are two people at very high-level positions. I don't know if this is like a thank you to Chris Martin for exposing it, or just like, you know, it'd be funny if we get his ex-wife to basically be our spokesperson for the brand. I don't know if that was like a way to be funny or just like a clap back to Chris. I don't know. This is just unbelievable.
There's still a question mark on what the future beholds for Astronomer, but all of this was a ton of marketing dollars, a ton of free marketing dollars. This is definitely a positive sign on keeping the conversation going.
This was a genius idea because it moves the conversation back to what they do while still poking fun at what happened.
Anime was once seen as alternative, quirky, and niche. But with the rise of the internet, it jumped onto the main stage. Then, streaming platforms saw an opportunity and turned it into a moneymaker. Now, Netflix has gone all in on anime and announced new studio investments in Japan, ramping up the number of original productions. The company says its anime viewership has tripled over the past 5 years. But that's where the problem begins.
You probably aren't taking anime seriously enough. It made Netflix $2.1 billion last year, which is 38% of the global anime streaming market, and half of all Netflix users now watch anime. Let that sink in. So anime is no longer niche. It's a moat protecting Netflix from the IP drought strangling Western media. Anime tripled in viewership on the platform over 5 years now, and crossing 1 billion streams in 2024 alone is a big deal. And Netflix is accounting for more anime revenue than Crunchyroll and Hulu combined. So what's the problem here? As these corporate entities tend to want to keep the moat that they have going, anime is going to become a lot more mainstream in the coming years, going to restrict the amount of new and more experimental shows that come out. We see this all the time when many big players become involved in a space, total innovation tends to decrease. You see Netflix localizes its anime in 33 languages with 80 to 90% of its users preferring dubs. That access is great for fandom and terrible for incumbents. Crunchyroll's share is shrinking and producers are pulling back. Meanwhile, Prime and HBO Max are aggressively investing in anime. Amazon even touted anime as its cornerstone for growth. So it really just goes to show that this war isn't over IP, it's over loyalty. And anime's reach is beyond that of just content. It represents culture, commerce, and more, with an emphasis on commerce. Because 28% of anime fans spend over $200 per year on merch. 1 in 10 spend over $500. And brands, they want in on this. Dentsu's data shows brand favorability rises 43% when anime IP is used in a campaign. And what we're seeing is Netflix treating anime like it's its second Marvel, and they quietly become the biggest distributor and the biggest customer of anime studios. So no, anime isn't necessarily a risk for Netflix, it's their insurance policy, but it all depends on how fans accept it.
As AI creeps into all facets of modern day life, it's become more than a go-to tool for many people. We've told you about AI partners and even how some people are using it to help with their mental health issues. But now, OpenAI boss Sam Altman warns users not to share their deepest, darkest, and most intimate secrets because the sesh may not be private and could be used in lawsuits, and even deleted chats can be retrieved. That's because, unlike messaging apps with end-to-end encryption, convos on ChatGPT can be accessed.
People talk about the most personal in their lives to ChatGPT. It's, people use it, young people especially, use it as a therapist, a life coach, having these relationship problems. What should I do? And right now, if you talk to a therapist or a lawyer or a doctor about those problems, there's legal privilege for it. There's doctor-patient confidentiality, there's legal confidentiality, whatever. We haven't figured that out yet for when you talk to ChatGPT. So if you go talk to ChatGPT about your most sensitive stuff and then there's a lawsuit or whatever, we could be required to produce that. And I think that's very screwed up. I think we should have the same concept of privacy for your conversations with AI that we do with a therapist or whatever. And no one had to think about that even a year ago. And now I think it's this huge issue of how are we going to treat the laws around this?
Y'all are out here spilling your whole souls into this AI tool, and that AI tool is not your therapist. This really could very much so be another way that the government is looking into y'all spilling your tea and y'all doing it willingly. GPT's own CEO, okay, he said that the same privileges that you got with your doctors, lawyers, and therapists, they don't even have that in place for ChatGPT, okay? You don't have those same privileges for protection like you have for your lawyer, like you have with your doctor, like you have with your therapist. They don't have that in place. So when y'all are out here having those little sensitive conversations, those little sensitive back and forth conversations with ChatGPT, it ain't protected, sis. It's not protected. ChatGPT is not homie on the block that's gonna hold you down. They will give up that information willingly. Everything that you done told and spilled your soul out about, yeah, they gonna know. Everybody gonna know.
When you're a fighter in the ring, it's about landing the punches and avoiding getting hit. Now, imagine the pressure of participating in a high-paced, extremely aggressive mixed martial arts fight and knowing that you have to protect your looks even more because you need it for your next gig on the catwalk. Introducing welterweight newcomer Islam Dulatov, who casually flitters from the macho world of MMA to the glamorous world of high fashion.
There is a 0% chance that you're not going to be extremely jealous of this man after watching this video. His name's Islam Dulatov, and he's a fashion model. You know, just for some casual fashion brands like Versace, Gucci, and Hugo Boss. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he's also an undefeated UFC fighter. Sweet. And he's a pretty damn good one at that because he just made his debut last weekend, and here's how that went.
He was going to sleep. Yo, then he woke him up. Right. Put another one in the ground upon. Look, knocked him out, woke him up. Yeah. That's nasty.
And the best part about all of this is that this guy has a fashion shoot on Monday after his UFC fight, and he didn't get touched. Oh my God. Like, this guy can clearly make a great living just by being a fashion runway model, but he chooses not to because he just loves fighting that much.
The 26-year-old German Chechen welterweight fighter started modeling when he was around 18, following in his older brother's footsteps. He's appeared in British Vogue magazine and has walked Fashion Week 6 times for Versace. Islam has also been featured in the prestigious male magazine GQ. And all this time, while walking with supermodels like Gigi and Bella Hadid, he continued to pursue his passion as an MMC fighter in the ring. Staying with fashion, if you're a Vogue reader, you may have spotted a striking new face in the August issue. She is blonde, flawless, stylish, and not real. A new guest ad features an AI-generated supermodel with a small note in the corner revealing she was entirely created by artificial intelligence. Vogue says the ad wasn't an editorial choice, but it does mark the first time an AI-generated person has appeared in the magazine. Needless to say, the move has sparked a lot of controversy.
It really is fascinating how AI has exposed so many people and companies for who they really are and their desire to just be capitalists. They just want to make money. They don't actually want to make art and actually say something. And in this case, it's Vogue magazine with AI models. Aside from the fact that fashion is art and art is always political, this magazine, along with many others, already promote difficult standards for mostly women to abide by when it comes to beauty and overall image. Now add on top of that, these magazines are creating literally fake people. They are AI women in this magazine, and they're now selling you this idea that you need to be as good as something that doesn't exist. Fashion is historically about protest and self-expression, and when you have AI creating literally non-existent beings and putting them on a pedestal as the new beauty standard for people to never achieve, you are creating the literal and complete antithesis of what fashion's about, while also vilifying and diminishing the brand that you spent decades building, riding that narrative.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.